Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Born from Sin. I'm your host, Danielle. Today, I wanted to, lighten things up a little bit. My last two episodes were a little heavy for me because I am still healing through my journey right now. And this month, being November, has always been a very rough month for me. In 1993, Remembrance Day, which is November the 11th here in Canada, I lost my father to cancer. And ever since then, November has been a very difficult month for me. It's been very hard for me to process how to feel about November the 11th. As I was mentioning, is Remembrance Day. It's a day that many people celebrate in honor of all the veterans that gave their lives for our freedom. It's always been a very, very important day in our lives. My grandfather was actually in the war, so he was a veteran himself. Growing up as a child, we went to pretty much any Remembrance Day type celebrations that were around. And when I lost my dad on Remembrance Day in 1993, November the 11th took a whole new meaning for me. For years, I struggled with trying to figure out how to still appreciate Remembrance Day and honor these veterans the way that they should be when it was the day that my dad died. There was a lot taken away from me that day. After years of struggling to finally get my dad back in my life and finally have him be the father that he should have been all of these years, he died. So for years, the month of November has been very, very difficult for me. And this month, I'm still struggling, but not because of my dad's death, but because I just lost my mom in June. So although Remembrance Day is starting to get easier for me, and I'm starting to appreciate and being able to go back to celebrating a day that was meant to be celebrated for veterans and not the day that my dad died. It's usually the biggest month of the year for me with my mental health. My uncle, who saved my life from my dad trying to kill me and my mom with a shotgun, his birthday is on November the 4th. My dad's birthday is on November the 5th. And Remembrance Day is November the 11th, which is also the day that my dad passed away. So I struggle trying to figure out how to get past this next step. I struggle with the holidays because I know that the holidays are around the corner. And growing up, when my dad was around, we had really good Christmases. There were always lots of presents under the tree. There was always a big, beautiful tree in our living room that was decorated immaculately, and it had the biggest star on the top, and it was always surrounded with angel hair. I don't know if you guys know what angel hair is, but it was beautiful. And when you turn the lights on at night, that tree just lit up the entire room. My dad would decorate that tree like Monica from Friends. That tree was perfection, and the gifts that were underneath it were always big gifts and little gifts, and there were lots and lots of gifts. And although, as a child, I was extremely excited for Christmas, the only reason I was really excited for Christmas is because I knew that those presents underneath the tree were going to be big ones. I knew that because of all of the abuse that I went through from my dad for that year, I was going to get something good under that tree. That was a very horrible way of thinking, but that's the truth. When I got a little bit older, I had hoped to always give my children a great Christmas. I wanted to have the perfect family, the perfect tree, the perfect amount of gifts underneath the tree for each of my kids. When my children lived with me, I tried my very best to make sure that that always happened. However, there were a couple years that the gifts might have been minimum, but the tree was up. I remember one year we were living on Frood Road in Sudbury, Ontario. Both my girls were little. And it was just shortly before the incident of my mom standing over us with a knife while we were sleeping. We were getting ready for Christmas and we were broke. I wasn't working. I was on mother's allowance at the time. My mom was on disability. Money was tight, and we were just trying to make ends meet. And we ended up getting a little 4-foot Christmas tree. Smallest little thing. Got it from a little store called Best Buys. It was kind of like a dollar store back in the day. Although I had enough for this $4 tree, I honestly did not have enough for decorations. And he and my best friend Chantal went and popped a bunch of popcorn. We took out a bunch of crepe paper of different colors, and we got the girls to draw snowflakes and cut out snowmen. And we threaded popcorn and cranberries, and we just strung it up on the tree. And there were no gifts under that tree for the adults that year. And that was okay, because at least the girls had something for themselves. For me, Christmas as a child, I remember one specific year. We were living in Winnipeg, Manitoba. I was about 8 years old at the time. We had gone upstairs to a neighbor's house, and that family had two little girls, and they had a Christmas tradition where they got to open one present on Christmas Eve, and they could pick one of presents. My parents were like, that's a really cool idea. My dad took this as an opportunity to go downstairs, bring me with him, pick out a couple of gifts that I was going to help him bring upstairs, and we were going to join in on this new family tradition. Now, because we couldn't be gone very long, my dad locked the apartment door, sat on the chair in front of the Christmas tree, pulled his pants down, made me give him a hand job, and then allowed me to pick out of the 5 smallest gifts that were under that tree. But Christmas to me wasn't always great, especially when there were a lot of gifts under that tree, because there was always a price to pay, or there had been a price to pay, and that's why those big gifts were sitting there. Then we had Christmases where it was just me and my mom. There were moments where Christmases with mom, were good. There were gifts under the tree. Everything was great. We had an awesome family dinner. And then there were Christmases where we were living out of a shelter, or my mom was living in an alcoholic anonymous group home so she could get better, so she can get custody of me back. And that's where we celebrated Christmas. So Christmas to me, although it should be celebrated at its best, has never really been a big deal at the same time. Even now, my husband and I have been living here in New Brunswick since 2019, and only 2 years we put up a Christmas tree and put gifts under it. One year was our first year here, and it was to celebrate, being home, and we were, in the process of bringing mom back to New Brunswick. The next time and the last time that we've put up a Christmas tree was when my youngest daughter was living with us. She came out from BC to stay with us for a little bit before she headed back. And that was the last time that we put up a Christmas tree. And not because we're like overly heartbroken that she left, although it was sad that she, to see her go, don't get me wrong. Uh, it's just because, again, as a child, my husband didn't always have the best Christmas, and it's literally just another day. Life has gotten so expensive that it's almost not worth celebrating Christmas anymore. Why put yourself in debt for another day. Yes, it should be celebrated, but what happened to old family traditions where it was like one gift under the tree for a kid and the gift was being surrounded by family and a big meal that was on the table and just laughter and joy? Like, what happened to that? Now it's all about what did you get for Christmas? What did your parents buy you? What did your husband get you? What did your wife get you? Oh, they must not love you as much as mine do because I got this and you only got that. It's a very depressing time of the year for a lot of people. It's a time of the year where we all need to be a lot more kind to everybody that we meet. The Christmas rush is going to start happening very soon. Stores are going to get busy. The cashiers are going to be overwhelmed. All the employees are going to be burnt out from all the hours that they're working. You are going to be out there shopping and you're going to be stressed out because of the overwhelming amount of people that are in the same store as you. You know, something that you were trying to get that's no longer available. There's going to be a lot going on. So while you're out there, make sure that you're being kind to everybody that you meet because you don't know what they might be struggling through right now. And you never know what's going to push them over the edge depending on where they are. So be kind. Don't break another person's spirit just because you're having a bad day. Don't be that person. And when you go out shopping and you celebrate your Christmas however you see fit, and that's the most important thing, how you see fit. If you have to budget your Christmas this year, that's all right. If you get to spend a ton of money because you won a lottery or your bonus came in from work, whatever. You celebrate your Christmas as you see fit for you and your family. You do that. But you remember that if you are fortunate enough that you can provide an outstanding Christmas for your children and your family, please remind your children when they go back to school to be kind to those that might not have received that PlayStation because it's brand new. Because their parents might not have been able to afford that. All they could afford was getting them some clothes because they're outgrowing the stuff that they're wearing. Toys weren't available this year because I lost my job. So please, when your children go back to school, sit them down and have a little talk with them and let them know that just because we had a fantastic Christmas, Joe Blow in your class might not have had such a good Christmas because he lives in a foster home. He doesn't live with his mom and dad. His mom and his dad died last year, and he's still waiting to be adopted. Explain to your children that it's okay to be grateful for what they got. It's okay to be excited that they got that PlayStation or that Xbox, and it's okay to talk about it. Be happy. Of course you're excited. You just got an Xbox, man. Right on. But the little boy or little girl sitting right next to you at that desk might not have gotten anything. So be kind to them and try not to rub it in their face. It's okay to be happy about it, but don't brag and put that child down and tell them, well, you got nothing. I got everything because my parents are better than yours. Don't let your child be that bully this year. Have a great day, and we'll see you next week.